And we are back, off topic, on brand. I'm Siege. That's Smitty right over there.
Heyo.
Look at that punum. And we are back for another episode of Off Topic on Brand, as I mentioned. And what we do here is we like to have a little fun. If you're just joining us for the very first time, we appreciate the check-in. And we're trying to do a few new things out there. I don't know if this should roll into pop culture, Smitty, or if this is more of a check-in deal. But thank you for all your help on the socials, getting more and more stuff pumped out there. And again, trying to play around a little bit more and more with the different aspects of video as well. We've got a few reels that are out there, and trying to get the blast out for those that are not in our small little lovely circle of friends and family right now. So again, I appreciate all the help you're doing, and thank you to everybody that is out in the audience that is doing their part in helping to spread the word about this little show of ours.
Hey, man, you're doing a phenomenal job with all the video work that you've been doing, because you came from an audio background like I did, and you basically are self-teaching to learn all this stuff for your position at work. And now it's, you're using this, the knowledge that you've gained for what we're doing. And dude, like, just the video work looks really good. The transitions you've made look really cool. All the, the TV stuff that you've done for our reels, and how you made all this that I'm waving at. It looks really clean. It looks really good. It doesn't look like we're a couple of amateurs just trying to hack our way into this, dude. It's really got this cool presentation. And for one, I'm thankful that you're just taking the lead and running with this. And also, I'm freaking proud of you, man.
Oh, well, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, dude, you've really come into your own with all this, and each thing that you do keeps getting better. So it's like you started out really good, and now you're getting better with each one. So I'm thrilled with how all this is looking, like going from our brains into the internet, just plugging it into the internet and letting it do its thing. So here we are making progress. Thankfully,
it's been a very much throw shit against the wall and see what sticks. And a lot of it has stuck, thankfully.
Yeah.
There have been a few behind-the-scenes struggles that we've had technological-wise, but it's not been like anything like we've had in the past with a few of our, I'm sure gigs that you've played and different radio events that I have worked and you've worked throughout the years. There have been some that have just blown up in your face, like the Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote. But thankfully, that is not the case with this. So knock on wood, it stays going like this. And again, I appreciate all the compliments. But yeah, it's definitely a labor of love for this, and all because of multiple years of on-the-job learning, because I definitely did not have any type of video skills whatsoever, other than uploading the occasional Facebook video of my daughter playing softball for her grandma and grandpa that are way down the road. So, but yeah, speaking of, that's a great way to transition into our topics for the week. Busy Friday with softball practice. We've got a lovely indoor batting facility here in town that is for use for all the softball and baseball kids. So, with it being so tumultuous weather-wise, it was windy and cold and threats of rain, so they had it inside, and lots of good batting practice and ability to try and learn bunting, so that could be a strong suit with my daughter's speed. Kind of feel like if I'm chasing her around, I'm doing the super bad, as fast as kid alive. But then we pivoted from that on to Saturday. She is a 4-H kid. I don't have any type of 4-H background, grew up out in the woods. I played in the woods, didn't have a whole lot of fear for critters out there, but my wife is a farm girl at heart. You can take her off the farm, but you can't take the farm out of the girl, and our daughter is kind of right there between us. She's an outside girl since the day she was born, and is a friend to all animals. So 4-H is a natural fit for her, and they had a introduction or welcome to 4-H type event at the fairgrounds here in my home county, and she was able to go around, and it started at 9 o'clock. We got there about 9:15. It wrapped up at about 11, and it was 10:57 or something, and she was like, "Oh, I want to do this still." I'm like, "Kid, they're going to pack up and leave. We are done here." So it's a natural fit, and we're really happy with the group leader that we have. I don't know if you did scouting or anything when you were a kid, Smitty, or 4-H or FFA or anything like that, but having a good leader for any of those special activities like that isn't a school affiliated thing makes the world of difference. And we've got a really good troop leader or group leader, and having all of the people that were there representing different groups and also like the county level were so encouraging, and they were so thrilled with the passion that she had for this, and this that we were at the different activity tables at. And just a natural fit. So I was really happy with that. And then on our way home on Saturday, my wife had hit a coworker of mine's garage sale. Her mom had passed a few years ago, and they're getting ready to sell the house. So they're trying to get rid of a lot of things that the family just doesn't have room for or doesn't want. And unbeknownst to me, because I didn't have good cell service in the metal building we were in, she sent me something. It looked like a cool coffee table. I'm like, oh, cool. So I hit a heart react. Unbeknownst to me, it was a retro console radio with a record player on the inside of it. It is from the 60s. It still has like the warranty in it. And again, a little bit of varnish has been taken off of the top of it, and there's some wearing on the cloth that's over the speakers, but the thing is awesome. And she got it for $30.
Oh, heck yeah, dude.
So I have texted like 3 or 4 times to my coworker about where we've positioned it in the house, and we've tested it out. And even on the low setting, it's like, ooh, these are some of the best speakers I've had for a music player of any kind in my home. So definitely a wall rattler for sure. So don't necessarily want to pop speakers on this thing, but depending on the album, you might crank it a little too loud. So yeah, very cool stuff. And then it led into Easter, and Saturday we dyed eggs in the evening, and thankfully the weather cooperated enough. It was a little squishy, but it was dry outside for us to go outside and do the Easter egg hunt. So very cool stuff.
Oh, heck yeah, dude. When you sent me the picture of that console that you got, like, you just sent it to me with nothing, no text or anything to it. And my first thought was, that is a record player. Is that a record player? That looks awesome.
For those of you on the video side of things, here it is right there. Ooh. Ah.
Yeah, dude, you scored big with that, because I've seen those things go, still, stuff from the 50s and 60s, that mid-century modern style things. I think that's still that era of it and everything. But that stuff can go for hundreds of dollars now. And so, yeah, you got a phenomenal deal on that for the shape that's in, especially. And it's one of those things that it to me, those never look out of style, out of time or anything. And so to have something like that, and I can imagine that the wood quality on that is just phenomenal compared to any table that you can get now. And so if something even does go wrong inside of it, you can just pop some new stuff in there, pop a new record player in, get some new speakers if you have to.
Yeah.
But if it's still in good shape, then heck yeah, rock that thing until it falls apart, dude.
And I've got an antique radio that I got from a buddy of mine that was up in his parents' attic. And it doesn't work, so you need to completely redo it. But that's a tube system. I'm like, I don't know if I want to pump that much cash into fixing that up. This one is a little newer, so yeah, if something catastrophic goes wrong, it's going to be a little pricey, but it's still within a relatively decent budget to get that one going. And again, the fact that they were kind enough to cut us a deal on it, because I think the joke was her husband had made the comment, well, since we know you and like you, we'll cut you a deal. But yeah, it was hefty, but it wasn't like the old console TVs that have the wood around it that are a trillion pounds. It wasn't that bad, but it's that same type of solid wood. Yeah, there's nothing about it that's flimsy at all. So yeah, we're real lucky to have it in the house, and it absolutely fits with, as my wife calls it, grandma core is kind of her style. So yeah, it absolutely fits with the decor, and it makes me laugh because the little handles that look like a fake drawer, but they're fakey. It looks exactly like the ones of the old wooden console TV my parents had in the house when I was a little kid, and it makes me so sad. I know you've seen it because I think I've shared a couple of them with you. People that retrofit those old what am I trying to call them? Not
The old two TVs.
yeah. And they gut it and they put in a flat screen and they have a heat sink in it and all that. It's like, oh my God, I wish my brain worked like that because that is so cool.
Oh, dude, isn't it? Oh, but there's something special about those. Now, and talking about those old console TVs.
Yeah.
Do you remember my first apartment when I first moved out on my own and I lived on the third floor, just right up the road a little ways? Okay, so when I first moved in there, Dad gave me their old console TV, which was from probably like the early 90s, I would say, because it was the quote unquote new one in our old house for the longest time. So I would say like from like 91, 92, 93, something like that. We lugged that thing up 3 flights of stairs to get into that old apartment. And we got it up there and we had a dolly and there was 2 people up on top on the dolly, 2 people below making sure it got up. And by the time we got it up there, Dad looks at me when we got a position. He goes, son, this TV stays here, or you're just going to have to throw it off the balcony if you get a new one, because I am not doing that again. I was like, don't worry, Dad. Trust me. And in fact, when I moved out, when I moved out of that place, I slid it into the closet, into the farthest corner of the closet and shut the door. And the landlord calls me. He's like, so, about that TV that's in there. And I go, yeah, you can do whatever you want to with it because there's no way I'm getting it back down by myself with me and just the few guys that I had moving. And he goes, yeah, I'm kind of running into that situation myself. And I was just like, break it apart if you have to, because I have no use for it anymore. Nobody that I know wants to claim this thing. So yeah, hefty is a good word. Probably not the right word because those things are hosses, dude. But yeah, I love that retrofitting thing that and you see that with a lot of stuff. People have done that, implementing CD players and stuff into things like that. And I think it looks really freaking cool because you can have the old style with modern technology in it, just a perfect blend. And I love that as well. And in fact, my grandma has one of those console players, record players like you have, the flip top and everything. Yeah. It's a bit newer. I believe hers is from early 70s, late 60s, early 70s, but still same idea. And I've had my eye on that thing since I've been a little kid. And I'm just like, I don't want you to kick off anytime soon, but when the time comes, that's coming with me.
Well, and it's no different than my wife and I both. We think some of that retro tech is super, super cool. Mm-hmm. The refrigerators from the 50s that have the Lazy Susans on the inside. Yeah. Why did you stop making those? Why? And again, I get it. We're in a nature of, well, it's cheaper to replace it than to fix it now. But simultaneously, you can still make that tech that you can, it's easier just to dispose of it than to keep it, but still build some of that stuff in it. I mean, people will still buy it, but it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to last. I get it, Maytag man. You sit around and you're bored, but simultaneously, it's like, some of that stuff. Why did we ever stop making it? It's like Trista's great grandma. She had this beautiful house, and that's what her grandmother then lived in, and that's what she grew up in. The upstairs had a clawfoot tub in it. Well, great grandma in the 50s decided that's too old timey. We need to get rid of it and remodeled. And it's like, why?
No. Well, my mom has run into that a lot. When we first moved into the house where my mom still lives, I was probably 11, 12 years old, something like that. And the house was built, I believe, in late 50s. Mm-hmm. And it still had a lot of that late 50s, early 60s stuff to it. A lot of the design work in there still had that. In fact, it's got a old corded phone that's got the rotary dial on it that was built into the wall that still works to this day. And but Mom, I would say about 10 years ago, really started getting back into the mid-century modern stuff, like a lot of the atomic-looking designs and stuff like that. And we were sitting there one day, and she's looking at all this stuff. She's like, you realize that this house had all of these things that I'm wanting in it when we moved in, right? And I was like, yeah. And Dad looked over, is like, yep, I remember that. And she's like, I kind of wish I'd have kept some of that. And Dad goes, well, you didn't. So it's kind of cool how that style comes back around, and I love it. Maybe because it's just something I grew up with, but something about 60s designs the clothing styles from the 60s will always appeal to me to some degree. Like the mod wear that the Beatles wore coming over from England was really cool. And I'm always going to be kind of a sucker for a lot of the hippie style clothing and designs. Like that stuff's just cool to me. The bell bottoms and the flares and the smiley faces were a cool one as well. Hey, I'm always going to love stuff like that.
The vibe that I get off of you, if you could go back to a decade just for the fashion alone, well, music too, but the fashion alone, you would definitely be rocking the hide from that 70s show.
Probably.
Yeah.
something along those lines. Yeah. I feel like the 70s, like late 60s, early 70s is probably what I would consider quote unquote my era. There's so much about all that era, not only from music and clothing and stuff like that, but the cars. As a person, I'm not a mechanically inclined person, but I love looking at cars. I love, I grew up at working at a drag strip. My dad was a car guy. Family members were car guys. So late 60s, mid-late 60s into the early 70s, when you go into the muscle car era, things of that nature. Oh, God, that to me is just some of the most beautiful things that have ever been put on the road. And just all that together. Yeah, I would absolutely feel like, I think I would absolutely fit into late 60s, early 70s era of life. I think it'd be a cool time, except for the whole Vietnam War thing.
Yeah, the segregation thing too isn't very cool.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that aren't cool whatsoever from that era. We don't need to forget about it because we have to, we want to be like, yeah, that wasn't good. We can't just gloss over that. But at the same time, a lot of cool stuff was going on. So, and especially again in music, just that era, the Hendrixes, the Zeppelins, all those things, the Sabbaths that we've talked about on the last episode.
I was gonna say there's a lot of that covered in our last episode, so I think there's a little bit of a reference there that the general public and general audience can get the vibe off of us on that. So
absolutely.
Again, we've ventured off path a little bit. How was your weekend, Smitty, or since our last recording?
Yeah, it was really low key. Didn't really do much. Woke up Saturday and it was just raining all day. And I was like, you know what? If this rain quits, I'm just going to go down to my mom's. That way I can spend the night down there, get up Sunday, go to church, do the Easter Sunday thing and everything. Actually got to see Snap a little bit, which was pretty cool Saturday night. Yeah, just a brief moment, but it was cool. And then came home to mom's, and Sunday got up, went to church, which it's nice going to church because there's a lot of our family that go there, and there's a lot of people in the community that I have known for my whole life. And so pretty well anytime that I go to that church, which I've been a member and going to that church since I was 8 or 9 years old. Yeah. So that's and my great aunt went there, family members have gone there. So it's kind of the family church, the community church to a degree. Which in a town of Bernie, which is just under 2,000 people, I think there's 6 churches in town. So there's a lot of options there, but this one's our quote unquote, our church. And so did that, came back. Mom had made a ham. She made corn casserole, which again, one of my all time favorite side dishes to go with the ham. Did that. And my grandma and her best friend came over. And decided they wanted to play some cards. And I was like, all right, cool. Yeah, last time I was here the weekend before for my birthday, they whooped me. And I just got to thinking, man, this is my weekend. I'm coming back. Nope. There's 3 women just beating the crap out of me playing cards. And I was like, well, so much for that. I gave it the effort, and I got thumped. But that aside, Mom gave me some Reese's eggs so I can fulfill my fatness for a few extra days until those things are gone. And yeah, other than that, it was just really low-key weekend, which I've kind of been in this weird funk here lately. And I think it kind of stems from my birthday a little bit. I've always kind of gotten a funk of my birthday. I think it's one of those things where I know that it is my birthday and I don't really want a lot of people making a big deal about it. And then I'm just like, I want to get through this. But it kind of seems like it's gone on. And I think a little bit of it, just still kind of bummed out that Dad's not around anymore. And this was the first year being on my own again for my birthday. And like literally I spent the entire day of my birthday by myself, which, kind of what I wanted. But at the same time, it was like, it kind of sucks. And, beggars can't be choosers, right? But it's been one of those peaks and valleys sort of things. It's like some days I'm feeling really good, and then some days I'm like, man, this funk, this sucks, And I think, again, some of it too is we're getting into our earlier hours at work, and so I don't have a lot of time at night. Like, we're basically going to have to finish this episode, and I'm going to have to shut things down and go to bed because I got to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, things like that. Waking up 2 o'clock, 3:30 in the morning, things. Normal human beings shouldn't be waking up at these hours, and and I haven't had really a chance to see Snap much. It's been quick drop by sort of things, not really getting nights or days, extended times together, and but she's also extremely busy with her work at the same time, and that's human life. That's just how it goes sometimes. We all get busy, and hopefully it all slows down and the funk will subside. Like today, I kind of felt pretty good, aside from work being a motherfucker, but that's just how it goes. Not much you can do about that. And really, that's one thing, and I keep this in the back of my mind all the time, is the stuff I'm learning in therapy about things that you need to hold on to and things that you can let go of, and that's definitely become one of them. When work gets stupid anymore, it doesn't get me wound up to the point of ready to start launching things across the office like I have in years past. I'm at least like, whatever. It is what it is. And
that's
so kind of
something.
Right, exactly. It's like, okay, this sucks, but there's that one thing. But that aside, it will come around. Weekend's coming up, so I'm not dwelling on it. I just know it's one of those things that I've learned that you just got to ride, and yeah, when the peaks come, I'm going to enjoy the peaks, and when the valleys hit, just got to suffer through it for a little bit, for lack of better terms. Not so much suffer, but just ride it out and let it happen, and try not to fight it. And the next day will be a different day. So all that aside, things have been going pretty well. Kind of just existing, which is weird in itself. But, it's kind of one of those things where I'm like, do I need to be doing all this stuff? Do I need to be making goals? Do I need to be adjusting and making all these changes in life because life has changed? And I think I'm just going to exist for a while and let the day happen and kind of be more in the moment than I have ever been. So that's scary to a degree because it's something I've never really allowed myself to do. So uncharted territory.
Dum, dum, dum.
Yeah, right.
Well, with that, sir, I know neither one of us, we kind of talked about it a little bit off air, don't have a whole lot in the way of pop culture. So I think right now is a perfect time to transition into that, and then we could get to our main topic, which you kind of alluded to already with your Easter grubbery that you mentioned earlier. So pop culture up next.
Aye.
Alrighty, pop culture time. And again, we're kind of boring. Didn't really have a whole lot. Oh, and again, I was running around like a maniac all weekend, so didn't have a whole lot of time to sit in front of the TV. But one of the things that my wife and I did get to do is we finally finished season 5 of Shoresy. And going back
Tell me.
Yeah, I was going to say, going back to a previous episode where we were ranking episodes, I got to say, man, one of the ones that you had talked about that I think it was episode 5 of this season. Dude, so good. Right before the final game. It was so good. And I told my wife as soon as that one was over, it's like, I kind of wish that was the end of the season. I kind of wish that was the cliffhanger. She said, why? She got so upset with me that I would even suggest that be the finale. I'm like, no, it'd be a perfect way to end it. Come on.
This whole season, like first episode, it just came out swinging.
Oh, yeah.
And then I thought that this season, it went up and then came back down. And honestly, second, third, and fourth episodes, I'm not saying they were bad.
No.
But coming off that first episode, I was like, there's got to be something more that this is leading up to, because it feels like they're kind of they're retreading the first season to a degree.
Yeah.
With what they were doing. And then kind of start peeking back up into end of episode 3, kind of gets things moving a bit, or episode 4 gets things moving a bit. And then, yeah, you're right. The penultimate episode there, dude, I was just the whole time just like, and then the last episode, I was just like, yeah. So way to completely come back around and end the season extremely well.
Yeah, and I think, honestly, with those last 2 episodes, it may have put it above season 4 for me.
Really?
I love season 4, and if we would have just gone with the first 3 that we had seen prior to us doing our episodes that we were recommending, again, season 3 is still the top.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to go a long way to get to that level again.
Right.
I think in my ranking, I'm gonna go 3 as my top. Or here, let me go in reverse order. It's 2 at the bottom. Then we're gonna go 1, believe it or not.
Oh, okay.
4, 5, 3.
Okay. I mean, that's
and again, no
wrong answer when it comes to Shoresy.
No. Season 2 is the only one, and we talked about it in that episode where we were talking about episodes we recommended. The last episode of season 2 going into the first episode of season 3, chef's kiss.
Perfect.
They belong together. It's a 1A, 1B. And again, that's just how good the show is. Season 2 is the least good of the series. That doesn't mean that it's not good.
Right. Yeah. Season 2 basically is a ride where you're going flat.
Until
right at the very end. Yeah. You just get ripped right up. And exactly the perfect transition that they needed going into season 3. Yeah. Which season 3, you said everything that needs to be said about it. It's nothing. There is nothing wrong with season 3 to me whatsoever.
Nope.
That's just that will, and like you said, if they do something crazy that can completely outkick that, that's going to be up there number 1 Shoresy season probably forever.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, can't wait until. Do we have a release date yet for I Killed the Bear?
I want to say it's either the end of this year or like very early 27. I'm almost certain, though, that it is the end of this year because I believe they're shooting the next season of Shoresy with a release in 27. So I kind of think they're going to get to that point of doing the staggered releases.
Okay. Yeah. I'm excited for it. And I never thought that with Letterkenny and Shoresy that we were going to get to a point where I like Shoresy better. And that here we are. So again, maybe I'm getting a little too much hopium for I Killed the Bear, but until he does something to prove me wrong about quality of show and series, I'm a ride or die with him.
Oh yeah, I'm full on in the Kiso verse. I'm going into I Killed the Bear hesitant in a sense of I don't want to go into it with such an expectation that it may potentially not deliver. But at the same time, I have no reason to think that it's not going to deliver because it's Jared Kiso, and he's already proven that he can create worlds and he can build characters so very well. And everything he's done within Letterkenny and Shoresy both, it has given you something, some person, some moment, some quote, phrase, whatever. It has given you this thing to latch onto to almost like a religious level.
Yeah.
In the way that, the Shoresy-isms, his little quips, the things that he says, going back to Letterkenny, you had all the stunts and things like that, the quotes that we can throw out, everything that he has put into these episodes, I expect that same level going into I Kill the Bear. And it feels like I Kill the Bear is going to have more budget behind it because the cast already has some major names in it, especially major names in Canada. You've got Chad Kroeger and GSP is going to be in it. I mean, say what you want about Nickelback, but people know who Chad Kroeger is around the world.
Yeah.
And even if you didn't watch UFC, there's still a good chance you know who GSP is because he was such a superstar within that world. And then he's bringing in, once again, Jonathan Torrens is going to
Yep.
be in it. So we got to see him in Trailer Park Boys, obviously, as J-Rock. And then he shows up as the Dicks in Letterkenny, and he shows up as the commentator in Shoresy. So he's got connections there. And is it Jonesy or Riley that's also going to be in it? One of the two.
I can't remember. I just know that one of the hockey players is back in this series. So again, excited to see a little bit more crossover there. And again, he's going to have to do something really out there, really, that's not what I wanted to make me not love it. And again, I think also we are kind of in a sweet spot now when it comes to shows that we like and love, on account of that reboot of King of the Hill was better than it had any right to be.
Right.
Can't wait for that. And Scrubs, you hit the nail on the head. That first episode, it's like, you know what? The first episode was a lot of nostalgia. It felt great, but where are they going to go from here? Again, we fell behind, and so we watched, I think, 2 or 3 episodes back to back a few weeks ago, maybe.
Okay.
But every episode is hit. It's so good. It's like the classic seasons, and really like the new cast a lot.
Yeah, I've just watched a little bit of the first episode because I started watching it and I got to thinking, I'm enjoying this. I need to wait for more episodes to drop because I'm going to watch this episode and I'm going to want more. And I know I can go back and watch the sweet episodes that I've enjoyed all my, throughout my 20s and 30s and in my 40s. I know I can do that, but I'm liking what they're doing now. I love the nostalgia. I love how they're rebuilding everything. I need to pump the brakes just a little bit because I want to see it all. I want to full on binge this like I did with King of the Hill, because when that first episode of the new season of King of the Hill came out, it felt like being back home. And there was nothing about it that made me think you guys are just doing this for a cash grab. The only thing that I had, and it wasn't even an issue with, knowing the situation around it, was Dale Gribble's voice.
Yeah.
Because, Johnny Hardwick passed away, and so they had to bring in extra people to do voices. They filled in some of his voices with parts that had already been recorded. You could tell that some of that stuff wasn't quite working. And then once they got to, and what is that dude's name that took over for him? I'm
picturing him right now.
Toby Huss.
Yeah.
Toby Huss. But honestly, the way that Toby Huss did the voice, and I think it was from the 5th or 6th episode or 7th episode going on, it was fully him. He sounds more like season 1 Dale Gribble to me. And I think that's probably what he studied, because as the original run of King of the Hill went on, they realized that they had something special with Gribble, and it's like they just kept turning him up a notch every season. A little more zany, a little more goofy, a little more loony, a little more tinfoil hattish. And it's like every season that went on, it's just that factor kept getting cranked up. And so really by the time that you got toward the end of that original run, he was kind of more of a caricature of Dale Gribble in origin the first couple seasons. And so it was kind of refreshing to hear Toby Huss's rendition of it, because it's what it reminded me of. It's like everything is kind of going back to the first season in a way, and the way that they made everybody age in just such a perfect way. Like Peggy's even more insufferable, which was not something I thought would be possible. But Hank mellowing out the way that he did was, to me, it was heartwarming with how him and Bobby are interacting now. And it's not, oh, that boy ain't right type stuff. Completely. It's refreshing.
I think to me the biggest shock was, and we've talked about it, we definitely have talked about it off air, is how Joseph has grown up. The adult Joseph, I think, I know it's kind of blasphemous to say he's my favorite character, because it's Bobby. It is Bobby.
Yeah.
But just seeing what weirdo he was when he was a teenager, and now being the adult, he's still a weirdo, but he's his dad.
He very much is. Yeah, he's got the whole womanizer thing going on about him with the older women. And I'm the same way, dude. I did not expect Joseph to be the breakout scene stealer the way that he was in this new run, and I'm here for it. So I hope they get more than 10 episodes for the next one. I mean, they don't have to have more than 10,
and
even it'd be nice.
Even if they don't do more than 10 episodes, they've already re-signed them for a third season already. So it's not just, we're going to get season 2 and see how it goes. It's no. They're already into season 3. So hopefully what they're doing is they're just producing, and then when the second season comes out, they're almost at the end of season 3, and then we can go from there. But the other one that we got spoiled with is they did a special new Muppet show.
Yeah,
and
how is that?
It was so good. And even Erin asked, our daughter, as soon as it was over, when's the next one? And it's like, well, that was kind of the running theme. If it does good, they're going to do a series. And everything I've read, all the reviews, apparently the ratings killed, not just on Disney Plus, but on ABC, because they actually showed it as a primetime episode.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
I don't know what's going to happen, but I mean, everything about it was, if you liked the Muppets, and even going back to see some of the old Muppet specials, not even the Muppet Show, because that was a little before our time, everything about it was top notch. It's better than any other recreated Muppet stuff. And I even like the Jason Segel movie. But this is real Muppets.
Oh, that's awesome to hear. Because I'm going to be honest with you. I saw that first Muppet movie in the theaters, and that may honestly have been one of the last movies I remember seeing in theaters. It's been that long ago. There was that moment when they were later in the movie where they were kind of like, well, I guess everybody's forgot about it. So I almost felt guilty for not being on board with my Muppet fandom, because as a kid, I was a huge fan of the Muppets. I remember seeing the Muppet Show airing reruns. I watched Muppet Babies. We even had a couple vinyl Muppet records that Mom and Dad had. They had stuff from the show, and Rainbow Connection and all that stuff was on it. And so, I absolutely grew up with the Muppets, and then, they just kind of phased out. And that moment hit me. I was like, oh man, my childhood. Oh, I forgot about this thing that I love so much. So I'm glad that, for better or for worse, we'll see what happens with Disney owning them. But I want to hope that they can be true to the Muppet product in a way that they need to be. And it sounds like they've really done a good job. I'd actually forgot that this had already dropped. So I'm going to have to go back and check it out. I'm assuming it's on Disney Plus now, right?
Yep, it is sitting there. And anytime we go by the would you like to watch again or continue watching, that's still in there, even though we've watched a ton of stuff since then. So it's like, well, maybe we do need to go give it another watch sometime. But and it's only 30 minutes. It's just a regular show length thing. It's not like an hour-long special. So an easy binge one. And again, just like you would expect from something that is top-notch, old-school OG Muppets, it does not feel 30 minutes at all.
Oh, that's so awesome. Which, to be honest, I kind of like that Muppet show they did that was a spoof of The Office from about 10 or 12 years ago, give or take. It wasn't amazing because mockumentaries are what they are, and it was one of those styles that had been a little overdone, but I love their world in that setting. And so I would be okay if they revisited that in the future. Just stretch the Muppets out. That's fine by me.
I need to go back and revisit it, because what you said is exactly where I was when I dropped. I was kind of overburned on that whole mockumentary thing. The other one that was really good, they did a Muppet series, and I think they got maybe 2 seasons. Maybe it was just one on Disney Plus a few years ago. Our daughter was younger, but not before her time, and it was really good. It was like trying to do a web series, and they were zooming in. That was incredibly well done. So again, they weren't lacking on guest stars either on that. So, but a really good time to be watching shows again, and hopefully, if you're able to catch up at some point, if your queue is 9 miles long like ours is, those are some family-friendly ones that are in there that you could put on at any given time, regardless of who's around. It's not like having to wait for the kid to go to bed for Peaky Blinders or the Daredevil series or anything like that I'm waiting on. But definitely worth checking out for some of those. And again, finally finished Shoresy, and fantastic.
Oh, heck yeah. Well, I didn't really watch a whole lot of new TV,
Mm-hmm.
but what I did watch, and we're going to use this as a nice, fun little segue to go into our main event.
Chef's kiss.
I thought about this one just a little bit when it came to mind the other day. But, I've let my mom have Disney Plus and HBO Max logins because she cut cable and she's exploring streaming. And I just happened to be cruising by and I saw Guy's Grocery Games. Now, for one, it's food. And I've always, from the day that his show, Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives first dropped, I fell in love with it. Guy Fieri just has this energy about him. And from everything that I've read and heard, he seems like he's legitimately a cool person to hang out with.
Hang on. You need to put some respect on his name. That is the mayor of Flavortown you're talking about, sir.
All right, Mr. Mayor, Guy Fieri over here.
There you go. Put some respect.
He's made such an empire off of all this stuff. He's got his own Flavortown sauces out there. He's got, in fact, there's a Flavortown food fight. So everything he does is triple D, triple G, triple F. All of that goes together. And so I actually did watch a bit of the Flavortown food fight as well. I love the way that whole show is laid out. But Guy's Grocery Games was one that I had seen in passing, and I was like, that seems like a cool concept. Never watched it until this past weekend, which they're 30 some odd seasons deep now, because I looked it up, and at one point they were doing 5 seasons per calendar year.
Jesus.
Which is insane. Yeah, and I think there's only 10 or 11 episodes, but that means they're doing something almost, unless they're doing double, triple episodes daily, then they're literally doing something the entire year, which to me is nuts to just be able to do that. On top of, I believe, Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives is still going on. The Flavortown food fight's still going on. You've got Guy doing all these other things. I don't think the guy sleeps, or he has cloned himself. One of the two. Which, whatever. Keep churning out content. I'm going to keep watching it. But the thing that really sucked me in about Guy's Grocery Games is it's like you take that old show Supermarket Sweep and you put it in a cooking show environment. And I was just glued to the screen. And seeing them running around this shopping, this little makeshift supermarket that they've got set up. And then they'll throw in little things like you can't shop in even aisles, you can't shop in odd aisles, or only this person can shop here, only this person can shop here, nobody else can shop this aisle. So they threw in a lot of these things that they call whammies to try to make some creative decisions happening. And then all these chefs, which are award-winning chefs, they've been on all the cooking shows, they're names within the food industry, they're competing. So you get to see not only this shopping thing going on, but you get to see food competition to see what they can create in 30 minutes, usually 20 minutes, things like that. Very quick paced. Episodes are about 45 minutes long. I think that means that they're an hour long on quote unquote normal TV, but about 45 minutes long. And they're the episodes that go by so fast because there's so much going on that it doesn't seem like it's that long of a show. And I was just sucked into it watching these people because I'm in a funk and I'm in a bit of a dry pattern on my cooking here for myself. So I thought, why not use this as some inspiration for myself? Learn some new things about food. Maybe try to throw some new combinations my way. Maybe some new weird combinations my way.
Oh, I see what you did there, sir. So that tease it up for me. I'm going to have to try and go for the green and not slice or hook or golf reference. So our main event this week is weird foods or food combinations that actually taste good. So you can cock your head like the dog when you're talking to it, like, huh? You can kind of, that sounds disgusting. Don't knock them till you try them. That's kind of where we are both coming at with this. Sir, since this is your idea you brought to the table, we are going to let you kick it off after this.
All right.
Back at it. We have got our main event topic. It is weird foods or food combinations that actually taste good. Smitty brought this one to the table. So, sir, I'm going to let you kick things off.
Well, leave it to me to be the one to think of something about being weird because I am self-identifying as
hashtag
weird.
fat life. Don't forget.
Fat life. The weird guy that likes to eat a lot of food. So, and I've always considered myself to have a very expansive palate. Like even as a kid, I was not really afraid of eating anything. If my parents put it in front of me and said, "Hey, try this," there's a good chance I was going to try it, which probably explains the fat. Probably explains a lot of things that's wrong in my life now. The reason that I lean on food as comfort, and we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah,
today.
no,
we're going to talk about.
Yeah, that's for another session, not with me.
That's another.
Yeah.
That's the sessions that I pay for.
Yeah, there you go.
But food like this all started because I was a couple months ago was really into watching Bizarre Foods. I rebooted that show that I'd watched many years ago and got to watching more deeply and watching it again 10, 12, 15 years down the line. My taste buds have definitely evolved. And I was watching this like, some of that stuff actually looks pretty good to be considered quote unquote weird, bizarre, whatever. And so that's where this idea came to me to present it to you. Weird combinations, just straight up weird foods, and just see where we went with it.
For those of you that need transparency, Smitty lives in an apartment. He will not get his cleaning deposit back if he opens up a can of Lutefisk. So he is not going to be doing that for this one. I don't know if Bizarre Foods has made you want to try that, sir, but you will be like Bobby Hill. You will be the man with the stink. Don't do it. Whatever you do, for the love of God, don't do it.
I don't know if I could eat fish that's cooked by lye. I'm not sure.
I
might be able to do it.
Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of disgusting, questionable food out there that in my adult life. Now, I was a little more finicky. I wasn't the chicken nugget kid, but I definitely had a more limited palate. Didn't have as many adventurous food outings or whatever, but I did slowly but surely grow, and now I'm kind of like, let's throw caution to the wind. There's some stuff that didn't click with me, but I'm glad I tried it, so I know. There's other stuff like gator tail that I'm so pissed that I waited so long to try it. Sushi is another one. I'm so pissed that I waited so long to try that. My bank account's glad I waited. But the rest of me is a little upset with it. But yeah, so there's some stuff out there that I got no qualms. I'd absolutely try it if it was in front of me. The issue is, the lutefisk, and there's another one. I can't even pronounce it. I know it's more Scandinavian. That's in the can that almost looks like a landmine. Oh, dude.
Yeah. Sturgen or something like that.
The amount of videos I've seen of people cracking that can open, and they're doing it inside, and they automatically retch. It's like,
that's a rookie mistake.
No, thank you. No.
Yeah. Yeah, even people from over there say you have to open this outside. So I think you should take that as your warning. Yeah. But anyways, I was thinking about all these foods because there's a lot of weird foods I would love to try. I want to try escargot sometime. I think that would be delicious. I don't think I could do balut. There's something about that that's just a bit much. But I got to thinking about some of the foods that if they're not weird to me, they might be considered quote unquote weird to other people that either haven't tried it or have tried it and thought it was disgusting. Yeah. And so we limited it to 5, and I had a list of about 20 to start, 15 to 20. And so the first thing that came to mind for me, my number one on my list, and it's probably one of the more weird things that I eat on a fairly regular basis, and that is Marmite. And so I got into Marmite because I really love British culture. I love watching British TV shows, a lot of British influenced music. Again, the styles of things from England have always been appealing to me. In fact, we even talked about it on our travel adventures. We were talking about a while back. England and the UK is definitely the bucket list for me. And so, I finally decided to buy myself some Marmite. It was one of those things where it's not that expensive, but I didn't want to spend the money on it just to take one little lick of it, and it automatically just like, oh God, no, I'm not going to eat this. So I finally got the courage to get some Marmite about 2 or 3 years ago. And it took me about 2 or 3 days of just looking at the containers like, okay, I have it at home now. What do I do with it? So did a little bit more Googling, just what's the best way to get into this stuff for a beginner. spread just a very thin bit on some toast, took a bite, and dude, it surprised me that I liked it as much as I did, because basically Marmite and Vegemite, very similar. They're very yeasty. It basically, the way that I understand it, it is an extract that comes from the brewing process of beers. And so they take this, it's just this very thick, like it is thicker than, oh gosh, it's thicker than honey for sure. It's not very gelatinous, but it kind of spreads like a jelly or it's thicker than Nutella, thicker than peanut butter, but it spreads very thinly. Well, recommended you spread it thinly, because you think about when you make a peanut butter sandwich, you just slather that stuff on a piece of bread.
There's no thin layering with a peanut butter sandwich.
No, like you're to the point of like the peanut butter is almost as thick as the bread itself when you're doing it. And very much it was, you don't want to do that with Marmite. So I was like, okay, so I spread that stuff as thin as I could, took a little bite, like, okay, heck yeah. Googled some more. It's like, why don't you make a grilled cheese sandwich and spread that on top of one of the pieces of bread? Because you make a grilled cheese, so you got a little bit of saltiness in the bread, and you've got the creaminess of the cheese, and you got a little bit of that richness of the butter that you use, or if you use mayonnaise, it depends on what you do. And so you put that little spread of the Marmite on there, just a little spread, and so you get that umami bomb essentially with this on your grilled cheese sandwich, and that was so good. I would do that 9 times out of 10. And so it shouldn't work, but it did.
So to get clarification, are you putting the Marmite on the outside, or are you putting it on the cheese layer?
I put it on the outside. I have seen people put it on the inside, like they'll toast the outer layer of their bread and then smear it on the inside when they put it on top of the cheese. I've seen that as well. I haven't done that yet, because I just smeared it on top, easy access, didn't want to mess up the sandwich I made. I think I might be all in on trying it inside with the cheese next time. So for me, I've seen people that they say it's too bitter, it's too funky, it's not appealing, and I get it. But my taste buds, when I first bit into that stuff, it's like I'm eating a beer sandwich. What it was like. I'm like, I'm on board for this. Here we go, buddy. So, Marmite definitely my number one, and absolutely something that I still keep in my pantry to this day.
So I'm going to go, I think, the way I've got it listed on my notes, I'm going to go out of order, because I just kind of put down what popped in the head first. So I may go in reverse order what I got from the least weird to the weirdest when it comes to the general audience. What the fuck is this guy doing? I think that's what I'm doing. So my first pick is going to be cheese pizza. So just a plain cheese pizza. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. It can even be a Totino's for all that matters. You put tahini seasoning on that. Ooh. It is a totally different game-changing thing, and it doesn't sound like it should be that big of a difference. Oh, it'll make it a little spicy, little bit of heat. It's a totally different experience than doing the red pepper flakes or doing the Parmesan cheese on it. For some reason, that has been my go-to for a few years now. And it's not fresh cheese pizza. So like if you get an order of Domino's or an order of Pizza Hut or any delivery service, if you're going to do your first cookout, it's going to be, you just eat it the way you normally eat it. When you reheat, if there is any left, that is the go-to. You got to put the wet paper towel on it, pop it in the microwave, do it in the oven for just a little bit. As soon as that thing comes out and it's piping hot, then you put that tahini on it and you coat the son of a bitch. And like, I know we've talked about our love of tahini on fruit. Tahini on watermelons, great experience if you've never done it. But if you're able to do that with a reheated slice of cheese pizza, dude, that's like a whole different thing than the last thing you ate. So, definitely recommend that. And a little weird, just because you don't think to put tahini on that. It's crazy. Because I looked up recipe after recipe, trying to get a photo as we have displayed right now. I couldn't find plain cheese pizza until I found this advertisement for tahini. And of course, you look at the resolution, it's not that high quality. It just looks like it's a tahini pizza. Which is kind of how I do it anyway. But yeah, pepperoni, like there were a few that was tahini and hot honey. And I'm like, I don't know if those two together necessarily. And then it's like with pepperoni, it's like it's already got enough grease and stuff on it. I don't need anything extra. Now, hot honey and sausage, on the other hand, that's a whole different ballgame. That's something I could get on board with. But yeah, just if you got a plain cheese pizza for a Lenten season, or you got a picky kid that only wants the cheese and doesn't want to pick the pepperoni off of it, yeah, if you got any leftovers of that, sprinkle some tahini on it and you'll thank me later.
Oh, heck yeah. So a quick question before I go into my next one. Was tahini something that was always in your spice rack, or has that been since you moved up to Perry, which is more of a Hispanic area?
That is 100% since we've been in Perry. And the more and more ingrained in the culture, and the more and more we have interactions with some of the different, because it's not just Mexico. It's El Salvador, it's Guatemala, it's all the Central American and even some South American cultures that are up here. It's I think it's a 70-30 split is what the population of the town is. And then for the school where my wife teaches, it's almost the opposite. It's almost flip-flop. There's more Hispanic students than there are Caucasian students, and there's a few other races that are thrown in. There are a few Asian families that are in the area. There are a few African, like from Africa families that have come. Some are refugees, some are just moved to the States. And but yeah, it's a real cool melting pot considering the size of our town. It's under 10,000. So it's kind of crazy the amount of cultural differences there are. And just being able to see those Hispanic cultures, they do a lot of stuff similarly, but there are a lot of differences that are in those mixes. Like you could go one place and order the exact same thing as another, and it comes out totally different. And those levels of spice, it's again, every culture has their own level of spice.
Oh yeah.
I think with Hispanic spice, I've gotten to a level that, yeah, I hit a threshold. I hit a point where it's like, ooh, that's a little too much for me. I still don't like spicy beer. I can't do it. I don't know. There's something about it. I don't mind spicy margaritas. I don't mind heat when it comes to like tequila, just other drinks that involve tequila that have some spice in it. Absolutely don't mind that. But I want my beer ice cold, and I don't want it to come back and bite me. So yeah, but no, tahini was a thing that I personally picked up on up here, and I've never turned back. It's almost like I got turned off on mayo when I was a little kid, because I think it was either the family only used Miracle Whip and then somebody put mayo on a sandwich, or it was the other way around. And I'm like, oh, no, ew. Nope. And then it was, I think, until like senior year of high school, I hadn't eaten mayo on anything willingly. And then, dude, it's like my wife ridicules me the amount of mayo I put on shit. And that's the way I am with the tahini. Like, it pops. It doesn't overwhelm things. It's not like the old man got his baked potato and he doesn't even take a bite of it. He just, here's half of the shaker of salt.
Yep.
It's not that. It's just there's certain things that, like, if I get a slice of watermelon and the tahini's not around, I'll eat it, but I'm not gonna like it as much. And that's kind of the way I am with that cheese pizza. Any other slice of reheated pizza, okay, whatever. I'll doctor it up with whatever I got, or I'll just eat it cold or out of the microwave or out of the oven, whatever. But yeah, if it's cheese, just cheese, oh, dude, I'm tahiniing the shit out of it.
Oh, heck yeah. Which I wasn't a tahini person. I don't think I'd ever used it until you started praising it so much with the watermelon, especially. Yeah. And when I got one of those fresh sweet southern watermelons from south of here, I had to try it. And yeah, you sold me on that. And in fact, I'm going to use that as a jumping board into my next one, which is also involving watermelon.
Ooh.
And this is something that I discovered just within the past couple years, and it is balsamic vinegar with watermelon. Now, I'd seen people do like strawberries and things like that, salads and stuff that had balsamic vinegar in it. And I think it was along the same time reading about things of that nature and finally buying myself an actual container of balsamic vinegar because I would put it on Brussels sprouts. Do Brussels sprouts in the oven or in the skillet, cook them up a little bit and splash some balsamic vinegar in there with some bacon. And that was just a wonderful combination. And I think I may have even Googled what to do with balsamic vinegar because I had this bottle of it for this one purpose. And I was like, okay, what can I do with it? And I read about watermelon. And because I grew up in a watermelon salting family.
Yeah.
Like my dad there were times he wouldn't even take a bite of the watermelon. As soon as that piece was on his plate, here comes the salt shaker. Just going to town on it. And he would even put pepper and salt on his, he would put that on his other melons, like honeydews and cantaloupes and things like that. He'd put salt and pepper on that. Just salt for the watermelon. And I was hit and miss with it. Sometimes I really like that, especially if, you've been out in the yard doing yard work and stuff. Yeah. That's salty sweet. That's perfect. It's like nature's Gatorade almost. And it's great. And so I saw this about balsamic vinegar and watermelon. It's like, my gosh, this sounds, I don't know. It was almost borderline gross in my mind. So I finally decided to try. It's like the season came along, got one of these fresh southern watermelons, giant bottle of balsamic vinegar sitting up there on the shelf. I might as well try it. And so I poured out a little bit, kind of like in a condiment container.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to just pour it all over it and it just absolutely sucked. Dipped it in there a little bit, took a bite. Okay, got a little taste for it. Did it again. Okay. Finally, I just threw the slabs of watermelon down and did a quick spritz on top of all of it. Took a bite, and dude, it is very much a sweet, salty, savory sensation. And the sweetness of the watermelon kind of balances out that vinegary kick, but you get the flavor of the balsamic, whatever the balsamic itself is.
Yeah.
Whatever that stuff is. It kind of comes through. And it's just, they complement one another so very well. And so you do get that salty sweet that you would from salt, but it has a different flavor of salt, I guess is the best way that my dumb brain can describe it. And yeah, it's turned into one of those things where I thought it was gross. I was very wrong about it. And now every summer I'm going to do it at least with one of the watermelons. It's going to happen. And I think I might even experiment a bit with maybe doing like a bit of a marinade situation with it.
Ooh, there you go.
Cutting up some pieces and putting them in a small container and just putting that marinade in there and letting it set and soak it up. I'm going to see how that goes this summer because this is still a very new thing to me. It might not be good that way. The moderation may be the way to go, but you never know until you try it, right? So I might have this brand new thing. And if it doesn't work, I'll just soak it in vodka or something.
There you go. There you go. Now my question is with that, how juicy is the melon slice? Like, is it the kind that when you cut into it, you can almost drink the juice out of the watermelon? Or is it more of you're cutting a slice and you'll get drips in your beard, but it's not like a liquidy consistency? Because I've had both, and honestly, as long as there's a little bit of sweetness to it, the one that I don't like is you get real disappointed when you cut into the melon. It's like, oh, this is going to be great, and you bite into it, and it's like
kind of bitter.
Am I eating celery? Why? There's no watermelon flavor to this. So, is there a preferred melon style to do this with?
I mean, for me, the melons that we get here. So there's a town south of where I grew up. It's it's along Highway 25 between Clarkton and Holcomb, which some people out there may know Holcomb for Strawberries Barbecue Restaurant down there. That's kind of a world famous thing down there. But there's a stretch down there where the soil is just sandy as hell. It's hot. It's perfect conditions for growing these watermelons. And they grow the ones that are the smaller, kind of the icebox style.
Oh, yeah.
That are just super sweet, super red. The majority of them are that, which you get a lot of the field melons too, that are the ones that the traditional green stripes that you see, the different color green stripes.
Yeah.
You do get a lot of those, which don't run as sweet. And for me, honestly, the ones that weren't super sweet, juicy, kind of tasted a little bit better because I think it added just enough to bring that sweetness out. Now, that's not to say that I don't enjoy doing this with the super juicy sweet ones, because just in general, that's the type of watermelon that I prefer. And so it didn't fight so much, but it was definitely something that I thought was better with one that wasn't mega sweet and juicy.
Gotcha.
And I think that it did more for that, whereas the other ones, when they're just juicy, sweet things, like, you don't really need anything else. You just pound those things and you're good. But I for the first time, probably one that's, not just dripping down your face would be a good introduction.
There you go. And you can always pick up both, one just for the balsamic test, and then the other one just to house.
Yeah, when it's watermelon season, I cannot have enough of that stuff. Like, dude, for that month stretch when they're at peak, I want one like every other day. I just crave that stuff when it comes around.
So I mentioned for my next pick, I already kind of teased it with the, you don't get much flavor off of some watermelons. Almost tastes like celery. This is one I got to credit with my mother-in-law. I think all of us grew up with the bumps on a log or frogs on a log or whatever you want to call it. The peanut butter on celery stick with raisins. My mother-in-law came up for, I don't remember if it was Easter or Thanksgiving, but for an appetizer, she had a whole head of celery and a whole container of creamed whipped cream. Or not whipped cream, sorry, cream cheese. There you go, cream cheese. And slathered it on and didn't put anything else on it. And my God, dude, my wife went ape shit for it because she was remembering her childhood. My daughter couldn't get enough of it, and even the dog couldn't get enough of it. And so I finally gave it a go, and it's like, well, I'll be damned. I never would have thought that cream cheese and celery. And now I've seen online, people do this a lot for appetizer stuff, just kind of setting out and people to graze, and they'll put the everything bagel seasoning on it. I've seen a few other variations of it, but again, just plain, or not even plain, but the whipped cream cheese on top of a stick of celery. It just works, and I never would have thought it, and I'm sure to some people that's revolting. I know one of our friends, Chad, thinks that well, I don't know if you're a Seinfeld fan or not, but Newman with the broccoli, vile weed. That's kind of the way Chad feels about celery. So he may not be a prime candidate to try this, but for anybody else that's willing to give it a go, delicious.
I'm not a big celery fan. It's one of the very few foods that the texture, and it's more from the spine, the ropey, spiny parts. That's what gets me. The flavor is okay. It's got its own thing. I'm having a hard time. Like, it doesn't sound gross by any means to me, but I'm having a hard time wrapping my brain around the combination of those two flavors.
And I don't have a good word for it. I don't have a great way to explain it other than, here, I'm going to make a plate of it. I'm going to give you one and take a bite of it. You won't offend me if you throw it away or toss it to the dog, because then she'll eat it for sure. But and then if you want more, we've got a whole plate full. But either way, they're not going to waste.
Basically, it's one of those things you can't explain, but it just works.
Yeah, well, and to be fair, look at our some of our European contingent. We're talking peanut butter and jelly like it's no big thing.
Yeah. Peanut
butter on celery, I'm sure to a lot of our audience sounds vile. And that was preschool through, I don't remember the last time I had it, but our daughter's 11, so I know it's been within the last 10 years that I've had it. So,
right.
But yeah, this for whatever reason it's a good snack. It's really, if you're watching your weight, might be a good cheap one to have as a snack. And then not only that, but it's not as heavy, I don't think, as the peanut butter. Now, you're not getting the protein or anything, but I'm also not counting macros. If I stood up, you would see what I'm talking about. But it shouldn't work. It's something that's like, what the fuck is this? But credit to my mother-in-law for bringing that into my life. And again, it was something that made my wife very happy and made my daughter happy, which, again, they're clones. So that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, that's a win all around. I'm very tempted to try this. I'm also kind of curious now how cottage cheese would go with celery. I know that cottage cheese and cream cheese can kind of have some intersections, but also a little different at the same time.
I worry about that just because of, even if you're getting the large curd cottage cheese, that it's just a little too runny for it. But
yeah,
I don't know. It might work. I'm also one that's weird that if I got a veggie tray and there's cottage cheese is one that's available, I'm going to go more veggie with it than I am with fruit. I don't get the fruit with the cottage cheese. That's not for me. But yeah, I'll dip my carrots in cottage cheese. It doesn't really hook on anything, but that's something that I do. So anyway, that's the cream cheese with celery is my next pick.
Oh, that's an interesting one. Yeah, I'm a cottage cheese fruit guy. I grew up with peaches and pineapples and things like that with cottage cheese. So that's where my brain's going. And also, speaking of cheese, that's where my next entry is going to go. And this was one that, again, when I first heard about it, I think I said to myself, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard when it comes to food. And that takes a lot for me to say that, because I've made some dumb combinations in my years, whether I was sober or not. Sometimes the not so sober food combinations. I've eaten slingers willingly. So.
Dude, that's a story for a completely different day.
Yeah. We'll just put a pin in that one and move on.
Yeah.
But I heard about people that eat apple pie with cheese.
Okay.
And my first thought was, do you put is the cheese melted on top of the crust? Is there cheese melted inside with the apples? I did some research on this because it was one of those things that made me go, oh, but at the same time go, huh. Very much equal parts of the dog turning its head. Huh. I researched it.
What you just described is what my wife did when I asked her out on our first date. Ew. Maybe.
So basically the gif of the girl trying the kombucha. So yeah, that my brain was definitely in this weird space of, I am curious about this. I don't know how to go about it. So ultimately, the first time I ever tried it, had a piece of American cheese, just put it right on top of the pie, ate it like that. It was okay. And I was like, I still don't get it. But then I read that it's best if you get a block of sharp cheddar, the sharpest that you can stand.
Okay.
And slice a piece off, put your cheese to the side. So you've got, on one side of the plate, you got cheese, one side of the plate, you got your apple pie, and kind of eat them together that way. And I was like, all right, that makes a bit more sense, because I equated it to the cheese and fruit boards, things like that.
Yeah.
Okay, it's starting to make a bit more sense now. I'd always had apples. I'd seen apples and cheese together. Okay, so this is where I'm starting to connect the dots. So that sharp cheddar cheese, I am going to tell you right now, the way that it interacts with that apple pie filling works so unbelievably well to my palate, because you get that sort of kind of salty bitterness coming from the cheese itself.
Okay.
And then you get the super sweet and kind of rich flavor that you get coming from the apple pie. So, piece of apple pie on your fork, stick down on the cheese, eat it together that way. Just a little bit of the cheese goes a long way. And the sharpest cheddar that I got that day worked. And my God, dude, it was kind of like a culinary just thing going on. I was like, why does this work? This shouldn't work. There's no explanation for this. But apparently it's a thing to a lot of people. And I am very much one of a lot of people now when it comes to eating cheese with apple pie. Never would have thought that about myself, but you learn a lot about yourself when you eat food, whether you want to or not. You learn a lot about yourself.
When you're eating in your underpants in the dark, and wait, what?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And it's also kind of one of those things of, if I can eat this, where else can my tongue go that it's also going to enjoy?
Ooh.
So yeah.
Now the way you've described this, sir, this makes a hell of a lot more sense than the different ways that I've gone. I've always imagined it like what you initially said. Your first piece that you tried, just to slice the American cheese, take the cellophane off of it and throw it on top. And then do I microwave this? Does the pie need to be fresh out of the oven and then it melts the cheese? And I have bad visions of like a pump of nacho cheese at the ballpark on top of it. It's like, oh, that's vile. But yeah, I can absolutely see that. And then trying to bougie it up a little bit with like Gouda or something else that's a sharper cheese, but not overpowering. I can see that working. And again, as long as it's like off to the side and you're doing the fork of, and then together, doing it that way is a little less intimidating, I think, than, oh God, either this whole slice is going to be awesome or it's going to suck and I have to throw it away.
Exactly. And that was my worry. I was like, am I going to be over here making apple cheese nachos? Pretty much, And to me, the texture of the melted cheese with the goopiness of the apple pie filling, that didn't work because I did get it a little too melty the first go around. But just doing it in moderations, or even a bite of one followed by a bite of another, not on the same fork. But like you chase the pie with the cheese in a sense. It kind of a palate cleanser to a degree. Worked out really well. And so Swiss cheese was okay. Some of the nuttier cheeses, they kind of wanted to fight a bit. Yeah. But there was something about going sharper, whichever direction of sharp cheese you like to go, as long as the cheese itself doesn't have an overwhelming flavor, because then you're going to get some competition as well. But just having that sharp, bitter quality, the aged and sharpness and things of that nature involving cheeses complements that sweetness so well. And
again,
so,
that salty sweet thing is definitely going to lend itself to better enjoyment. And again, like what you said, I was imagining that a Swiss might be a little too pungent to go along with apple.
Yeah. It wasn't the best. It was one of those that I tried it because it was available, and I was like, okay, I know that I like apple pie with cheese. What other cheeses work? So that's kind of an exploration that I'm going on as well. I could probably see it working with maybe a brie cheese. It might be a bit too much of a creaminess disaster going on, but I'm going to give it a shot because, I mean, what else do I have but time and stomach space? So we're going to fill it all up with something. Might as well be that.
There you go. And you've encouraged me and inspired me, sir. I think that's what I'm going to have to do at some point this summer whenever we get an apple pie going.
There you go. Perfect cookout food, man.
There you go. My next one is definitely a controversial topic in my house. It kind of calls back to your Marmite on toast. This one, and you and I have discussed, you're on my side in this battle. It is peanut butter toast, but you put butter on the toast and then you slather the peanut butter on it. My wife practically retches when she sees me making toast because she knows that's what's coming next. And it's like, I don't understand why you're so grossed out by it. I've been doing this since I was a little itty bitty kid. And that was from my grandpa and then my mom. And pretty much my dad also thinks it's kind of gross, but he's not as vocal with it, I think, because my mom knows where he sleeps. But oh my God, you'd think that I was smearing like dog shit on this and then eating it and go, it's so good. Do you want a bite? That's kind of the reaction that I get from my own wife in this. And it's even to the point where after I eat it, I got to let it like palate cleanse. I got to drink some coffee because she's like, oh, it's too much. I'm like, I'm 42. I haven't died yet. I've gotten food poisoning, not from this. So I don't know. For some reason, to me, it works. Now, the photo that I'm using it's the best representation of what I do, but it's got the chunky peanut butter on there. That is not me. I am a smooth peanut butter guy, but definitely use a lot more than what is on this photo that's represented. I just wanted to have a better representation of how you would do the schmear. So needless to say, it is not like your Marmite. You're not having to go as skimpy on it to not overwhelm yourself. It's to your heart's content. If you got a jar and you want to get rid of it, throw that jar of peanut butter on that bitch. But put a little butter on it first.
And that was a thing that my dad passed down to me as well, because I remember that very much as a kid. One of the things that Dad would also do, he would take a honey bun and melt butter on it and do some peanut butter on top of it. And that led me to start doing, I would do the toast, I would put the butter on there, I would get the shaker of salt and sugar and put that on, and then smear the peanut butter over it. And so, I'm fully on board with that. There's something about the butter, like the milk cow butter going on first, that just makes that juicy layer that works so well once the peanut butter gets on it. It's like you kind of have that barrier between the peanut butter and the bread.
This guy gets it. This guy gets it.
I'm a fat kid, man. Come on.
I just want you to know, when we get flamed on the comment thread, it will be my wife. Whether it's an anonymous profile or her lovely face on there talking about how disgusting we are because of this, that's her. So.
All right. And just know, I love your wife, but in this moment she is wrong. And I'm not going to say I'm going to fight your wife, because I'm not going to fight your wife.
Well, you've seen how tough she is. You will wind up off camera.
I've seen you go flying, yeah. But I will be like, you are wrong in this moment. This one moment for 3 seconds.
And then you dive behind the couch to evade.
Chris, are you wrong? Yeah. I'm the guy that's fighting like this, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, dude, you are that is just a spot on quick breakfast sort of thing, or the snack after breakfast even.
And I said I picked that one up from my grandpa, and my mom has also adopted that. The one difference between my grandfather and the way my mom and I prepare it, my grandfather would practically charcoal his toast.
Okay.
He liked that shit on the darkest setting. And don't get me wrong, I like the darkest roast coffee you can get. I prefer the charcoal flavor when you grill. But yeah, there's something about charbroiled toast that I don't quite like it that crispy, if you know what I mean.
No, not at all. And
I'll do my toast medium well. I don't need it well done.
Right. I tell you another way that you can kick this up a notch is do it with French toast.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. That's a Fat Life fun one. And to go even further, throw some jelly in there. So do like a peanut butter and jelly with the butter on there. You're either going to get fat or beat us, but you're going to be happy one way or another.
I'm happy, but I don't got a foot.
Speaking of getting fat, my next one is one that a lot of people that I still know to this day, when this is brought up in food discussions, will look at me like, you eat that? And I'm like, hell yeah, I eat that. And this is one that, again, I grew up eating. This was a common thing for me to eat, especially. There were a lot of family meals that involved this, and that is fried frog legs. Ooh. I know a lot of people are like, how can you eat frog? Well, let me tell you, the way I eat it is I go, this frog's good. But no, seriously, there's something about it. Like, you hear a lot of stuff with alligator and things of that nature, all the water-based critters. Oh, it kind of tastes like chicken. This one, honestly, it's like chicken, but it's got a bit of a natural sweetness to it. Now, we used to go, there used to be a place just north of me called Fiddler's as a fish house, and had some of the absolute best fish. They would have frog leg nights there. My family would go, and we would embarrass ourselves on how much we would eat in terms of frog legs, because it would be the whole family, like my grandparents and my uncles and my aunts. I mean, we would roll in like 10, 12, 15 deep, probably to the point where they would look up like, oh, shit, there they are. We got enough frog legs back there? Oh, shit. You guys want frog legs? Well, we'll do the best we can for you. But yeah, there's something about it. And it's just, there's not much to it, because, I mean, bullfrog legs, they're not that long. They're not that big. I don't know. But there's not a whole lot there. So you really can eat a lot to make a meal out of it. But the way that it fries up, I mean, it is just like a condensed little chicken leg with the way that meat is on there. Because there's not a whole lot you're eating from, I guess, what you consider the waist of the frog.
Yeah.
Up. That's where all the guts and the innards and stuff like that are. So all of it's pretty well coming from the waist down. So you're not getting a whole lot there. And all you got to do is just season it up just like you would do your fried chicken. Put some good seasonings in that batter. And I've even come across a lot of the Asian Chinese restaurants here in town. The buffets will have frog legs on them.
Really?
And the seasoning, there's 2 or 3 here in town that have frog legs. It's not all the time that I've noticed it. It seems like it's certain nights that they'll do it. But yeah, the seasonings that they throw in there as well, that little Asian kind of on the garlicky, zingy side of flavor, works well because this meat's very neutral. Again, it has a natural sweetness to it, but it's not an overwhelming sweetness. So it can take any sort of flavor you throw at it. If you want to do Creole, Creole works perfect. Cajun works perfect. Or if you want more of a sweeter, something like Jesus's chicken, that sort of flavor profile, it's going to work with all of the seasonings. And to me, whatever you throw at it, perfect. Doesn't need a sauce, doesn't need anything. Just how you get it, chomp down on it. And it's one of those things that, it's weird. It's a frog. Most people think frogs are cute. Whatever. They taste damn good. And I would definitely recommend everybody to try one, just one little bite, one time. And I think you'd be surprised.
So, as somebody that has not, I think I may have tried it once throughout the years. I don't know what I anticipated. I don't even remember what my reaction was to it. So it didn't leave too much of an impression on me. But as somebody that is an ardent fan, an ardent defender of gator tail, is it a similar flavor profile or is it a little bit different, a little bit its own thing? Because again, it tastes like chicken. Gator tail doesn't taste like chicken. It's got the consistency of chicken, but it doesn't have the flavor profile of chicken.
Yeah, it doesn't. Gator kind of has a bit of a seafoodiness quality about it to a degree. Frog legs really don't. It's a bit less, considerably to me at least, considerably less than that. Like legitimately, honestly, what the taste that I get kind of has chicken leg. Just as a whole, and there's not a whole lot of that watery, swampy, rivery sort of flavor that you get from fish and things of that nature. You don't get a whole lot of that because maybe it's because that they can be both land and water animals. Would be my guess as to why it's not as much. But it's very mild, very beginner friendly. I'll put it that way.
Gotcha.
So not something that you'd be going into with a weird expectation. It's just it tastes like chicken meat. Just
there you go. There you go. So my next one is not nearly as adventurous as our amphibian friend. This one is just, I don't know where I picked up on it. Don't know why I started eating these when I was a little kid, but it has continued into adulthood, and now my child does it, and my wife will eat it as well occasionally, as long as my daughter and I haven't cleaned the house out. It is raw noodles. So pasta without the water, without boiling it, but it's a specific kind. Obviously, we'll eat spaghetti noodles if it's available, if that's all we got. It is the rainbow rotini noodles, the tricolored that you see in the store, the orange, the green, and the white. We call them crunchy noodles in this neck of the woods. And again, don't know why that is a snack, but we don't season them. It's not like the ones, it's pasta chips. You put it in the air fryer and you put seasoning. Nope. Out of the box. Open it up, crack it up, grab a handful, and you crunch.
Really? Okay, now that's an interesting one, especially the no seasoning part of it, because I've been into a penne before out of curiosity. I've been into Alfredo noodles and stuff like that. So So is it more? Is it more of the crunch factor for you?
I think the crunch factor is a huge portion of it, but it, as crazy as it is, I think it's similar to what they say about Skittles. Well, it's all the same flavor, right? You can't tell it different. Well, it kind of can. And with the rainbow rotini noodles, or the tricolored ones, you can pick up a flavor difference in the orange, which I guess is supposed to be more a carrot profile, and then the green is supposed to be spinach. And again, as somebody that didn't like spinach until much later in life, it's weird that I like the green ones better. But yeah, it absolutely, you can pick up on a few different flavor profiles. And it's weird. I don't mean to be talking like I'm a sommelier talking about wine. I'm talking about dry pasta that I'm popping in my mouth. It handfuls like I'm eating popcorn. But yeah, for whatever reason, that was a go-to when I was a little kid. After school, I'd grab a box and munch on that for a little bit before go doing homework. And for a while there, it was after work. Well, supper was getting ready. Throw that on the counter while I'm grilling or fixing up hamburger, and I'll crunch, 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 crunch. So, yeah, so it even got to the point where for a little bit there, we'd have to buy 2 boxes at a time, knowing that Dad and Aaron were going to go to town on these things. So, yeah, just a weird, quirky deal. I mean, if that's going to be my weird vice, I'm not drinking and driving. I'm not trying to get some illicit drugs or anything. I'm eating raw pasta. There you go.
Do you ever introduce any sort of condiments or dipping sauces with it, just out of curiosity or anything? Really?
No,
okay.
Believe it or not, no.
It would,
the one
would
thing
lend itself to that.
I don't necessarily think so, because at that point, if you're trying to season it up, like my daughter still loves, my wife grew up on buttered noodles. Buttered noodles was the down and dirty. This is my snack. This is my favorite thing. My daughter will just do the boiled noodles. She doesn't want any butter on it. She doesn't need any seasoning of any kind. So she'll put them in water. It doesn't have to be boiled. She'll let them soak up. But yeah, for me, it's always just been the dry noodle. Yeah.
Oh, heck yeah. That's a good one, because I would never have thought about that, but I can see that for the crunch factor, because I'm not a crunchy. Yeah. Like my teeth kind of suck for one, but crunch has never been one of the things that has made a snack appealing to me. But seeing, understanding how that is appealing to somebody. Yeah, I absolutely, because you do get some flavors out of it. Yeah. It's not, just nothing.
And I, for the longest time, have been an ice cruncher as well. Every dentist that I've ever gone to has been like, you son of a bitch, knock it off. But yeah, there is something to do with the satisfaction of the crunch. And I think eating popcorn is a similar deal, but you're getting more salt out of it, I think, than the crunch satisfaction. But yeah, I don't know where it came from, but it's something that I have not grown out of. And
you've even passed it down.
Yeah, absolutely, for better or for worse. But yeah, it's again kind of that unique thing, and even that's what my mom still says. Did you get crunchy noodles when you went to the store? And so it's a synonymous thing when it comes to shopping and snacking in my family line, even now at this point. But yeah, it's glad to throw a little extra weird out there for you.
Oh, dude, that is absolutely perfect for this prompt for the main event this week. So, dude, that was awesome. It's a very, very good one on that. And again, it's cool how food for me, I look at it a lot like I look at music and art and stuff. It's so subjective. Our tastes are all different. And sometimes the weird stuff like that, we just crave it. And it may be quote unquote weird to anybody else, but to us in the moment of enjoying this weird thing, we're in our happy spot.
Well, we're not like that My Strange Addiction where we're eating deodorant or anything. Right. So it's all edible.
It's food stuff. So yeah, absolutely. Well, this next one that I'm going to wrap up my list with is another delicious fried delicacy that I've had so many people tell me, dear God, you eat that? And it is chicken gizzards.
You've won my wife back over after your disgusting take on the peanut butter and butter, Smitty.
That's fair. I'm not going to be like, hey, look at me. I'm going to put this chicken gizzard on top of this peanut butter and butter sandwich that I'm making. Rub that shit in. No, there is something to be said, because a gizzard is basically like this little mechanism in a chicken's stomach, essentially, that helps with grinding up food and digest, getting it to pass through the rest of the system. It's basically a muscle in the digestive system of a chicken. And when you think about it on paper like that, it's like, that's it. That's what You're eating that? Why? Why? But let me tell you this. And I love the entirety of the chicken. I'm not going to eat chicken assholes. That's not my thing. Just assholes in general. I'm not into.
You've not had a chicken sausage, Smitty?
There's no mouthfeel thing going on over here. With the chicken.
Yeah. Mouth, just like the shape.
But I remember as a kid, my grandma, when she would take the chicken and make chicken and dumplings, she would put the heart of the chicken right on top. And whoever got the first dip out would get the heart. And I remember as a little kid, probably 6 years old, I was like, what is this little thing that's floating around? And Dad's like, oh, you got the first dip then. You got the heart. And I'm like, okay, that's good. I love fried chicken livers. Like, it's got this very irony, salty thing going on. It's bitter. It's salty. It's the umami satisfaction thing going on. But for me, it's always been with this part of the chicken, separating it from chicken thighs and breasts and legs and nuggets and tenders and all this stuff. The gizzard has always been my favorite little weird part of the chicken. And I remember as a kid, it was the thing that my dad turned me on to, because my dad, my grandpa, I guess the whole Smith line of men have just grown up as chicken gizzard eaters. And we went to KFC. Okay. And it was just me and my dad one day. And I remember this, I'm probably 5-6 years old. He's like, hey, Bubba, you want some gizzards? I'm like, I don't know if I've ever had a gizzard before. Okay. And so we got this box of gizzards, the old square boxes that have the flaps on the side and everything. Open that thing up and it's just piled high with gizzards. And I'm just popping these things in my mouth one after another. It's like, oh man, these are really good, because there's not a whole lot there. I mean, each gizzard is probably about that big. So you're not getting a whole lot. Some of them, it's just batter with a little bit of a chicken flavor to it. And finally he was like, you know what you're eating? Chicken guts. It's the way that he explained it to me. I'm like, what? And later on he explained to me the full purpose of what a gizzard is and everything. But they take flavor so well. And if you put them in a pressure cooker before you fry them to get them softer, you're not going to get that overly chewiness, because that is one of the big knocks that people have on chicken gizzards, is they're just so damn tough and chewy. Because if you just throw them straight into the skillet or whatever, they're going to get tough. There's no way around it. But if you pressure cook those dudes before you fry them, that is how you get the most exceptional gizzard, because then they're chewy, but they're soft. And so you can actually bite into them without feeling like you're just, like a dog trying to eat something.
Yeah. So that is definitely my not turn off of them, because again, I agree with you. They take flavor so well, but I've had too many that I've bit into that it's just like the hardest piece of gristle you've ever had in your life. And it's almost like trying to chew on a Super Bowl. It's
very much a turn off.
Yeah. And that doesn't do it for me. But I will say this, if there is anywhere in a Tri-County area that has a Chester fried chicken, you know what I'm talking about. Don't know what they do. I don't know what MSG or what type of synthesized Coke they put in it. Their batter, the way they do their gizzards, it is enough that is the kryptonite for the woman that I live with, the one that is the love of my life upstairs. Yeah, she will not turn that down. She could be on the world's most militant military diet and try to CrossFit and train for the Olympics. If I
She's off it that day, isn't she?
Hey, I brought some gizzards home from Chester's. Oh my God, dude, she'd like bolt me through the drywall to get to them. So yeah, I get it. I get it entirely. And again, the flavor is so good. But again, it's kind of like, we've had this conversation before about pork steaks. There have been so many of them that I've gotten that it's just not it. They haven't done it right. There's something off about it. That's it. And I didn't realize that was a pressure cooker thing. But yeah, that's been my hang up on it for as long as I've given them a go. It's not been a flavor thing, not at all. It's been a consistency thing.
Yeah, and I totally get that, because even with the good batches of gizzards, you're always going to get a few that overcooked and just, they're too chewy, they're too crunchy. Even hot sauce is not going to save it. And which that was, as a kid, my family was not a hot sauce family.
Yeah.
Like mustard was the hottest thing we had in the fridge for the longest time, it seemed like. And so that was my introduction to learning how to navigate the world of hot sauces, because you got to have some hot sauce with livers and gizzards, man. There's no way around it. And so that was very much a learning experience for me in many ways, learning about gizzards and learning about hot sauces. So but absolutely. And you describing Trista kind of almost becoming feral when it comes to chicken gizzards. Like, I can legitimately see her running in and doing the thing like the raccoon does, where it grabs the food and just scampers off into another room. Like, I can see her running in and grabbing this box of gizzards, like, my precious, and just running away to the other side of the house and just chomping on these things.
We were on a road trip somewhere, and I don't even remember why. Like, we pulled off, we were just getting gas. Neither one of us really needed to use the bathroom. I think we were going to eat when we stopped, like, got out of the car to stay where we were staying. And it's like, well, let's stretch our legs a little bit. Maybe we'll go inside and get a soda. We didn't see it on the sign outside the gas station, and there was a Chester's on the inside of the gas station. And, dude, it was like a kid coming out of their room on Christmas morning and seeing the glow of the tree and all the presents. Dude, that's like a core memory that's stuck up here. And just how excited she was, how joyous she was, because she was going to get gizzards and she was going to get those tater wedges.
Oh, yeah, the fried mojo type tater wedges.
Oh, dude, that's the slam dunk right there. The only thing that made her happier, and they've ruined it since then, was when we would go on little, not fancy dates or anything, but we'd swing through Dairy Queen and she'd get her chicken strip basket so she could get the gravy.
Dude, that is such a disappointment anymore, because I'm right there with her on that. Is very much so. That used to be a top tier quick drive through, reasonably affordable sort of thing, and now I want to cry sometimes thinking about that.
Well, I hate to bring that down. So hopefully this bit of nostalgia will pick things back up for my last one. Talking about childhood memories, getting to go after you finished your reading in school, and you'd get your book it certificate.
Yeah.
And then you'd get your personal pan pizza from Pizza Hut. So Mom and Dad would take me and my brother to Pizza Hut, and we'd sit at the table, and we'd have the giant, at the time, I'm sure they were still big, but the giant red plastic cups. And when you dine in, they'd come out with a pitcher of whatever beverage you wanted. Oftentimes Mom and Dad would get the diet, and then we would have the regular leaded soda. And then you'd get your personal pan pizza, and Mom and Dad would get the gross supreme stuff. But for me, and again, this kind of goes back to the eating the raw rotini noodles. It's just a weird, quirky thing that this kid did. The OG Pizza Hut pan pizza flavoring. They've changed their recipe. Now it's kind of like, well, if you're going, you might as well just get the cheese stuffed crust, because otherwise it's not going to be the same. But you take that and you dip it in and it's got to be regular Pepsi. You dunk it like you're dunking an Oreo or a chocolate chip cookie in milk. I don't know what it is about it, dude. It's the sweet and salty. And again, then you're left with like floaty garlic bits in your soda. So that's kind of weird. But dude, there was something about that you can keep your Cinna sticks. You can keep whatever other dessert items they might have. That was the slam dunk. And that's a way to get your kids to eat your crust for sure. But yeah, I don't have any explanation for it at all. But that flavor profile is something that is, again, kind of like the core memory of Trista getting so excited over those gizzards and the Chesters at the gas station. That is a happy. Like, I'm salivating now thinking about it.
No, and it's such a bummer that you can't go back and redo it because of how they've changed everything. But that crust from back then, I can imagine how much that would just, as soon as you dropped it in there, just started soaking that soda right up. And so you like had that really juicy bite of crust and soda coming out.
And again, not to be too gross or graphic, but it kind of did like like a tampon. It absorbed that soda, so it puffed up a little bit. So, yeah. Now, again, not to make the same comparison, obviously a different flavor profile, but yeah. Oh, well, there you go. That's an image for you.
I ruined it.
For our audience that is just listening to the podcast, I hope you do go and scroll to this time on the video just to see that display. That's what you need.
Just something like that. But no, I can totally understand where I've never done this before.
Mm-hmm.
And it had honestly never been something that crossed, because I can understand from taking a bite of the crust and then having a drink right after it, understanding that sensation, but to fully submerge it and get that thing just soda logged and then take the bite. Oh yeah, there's got to be something about that. It's like a pizza gusher.
I think the first time I did it may have been if my parents saw me, it was like the kid that was trying to put the square peg in the round hole. It's like,
oh, great, my child is, there's something wrong.
It's dad definitely did the reversed Forrest Gump. Instead of the, is he smart or is he like me? It was the opposite of that.
My child is broken.
Is he stupid or just, it wasn't do we need to get him help? It was very much I don't think that savings fund for college is going to come into play.
A lot of questions.
Oh, they still got a lot. They listen to this podcast, so they know there's a lot.
We're never going to outgrow that, though.
No.
There's always going to be those things where they're just going to be like, are you serious? You fucking do that? What is wrong with you? You're 43 years old. What the hell is wrong with you? You made me.
It's very much that 70s show. I think you and I have related the Red Foreman being like our father, fathers. The dad, I don't know why bad things keep happening. I must have bad luck. Son, you don't have bad luck. You're just a dumbass.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh man. Yeah,
yep.
that's
can confirm. Can confirm.
Well, dude, that was, to me, and I know there's still a lot of foods out there
that
we could get weird with, and that I'm sure that we could revisit this down the road, and we've added more weird stuff. There's probably weird stuff that we didn't even think about that we like, because to us, it's not weird.
Yeah, there's probably some stuff that is absolutely weird, but those around us haven't called out how weird it truly is. Yeah. So I think that's part of it with this go round. It's either like, even looking again, the cheese pizza with tahini, I've seen posts of, on your pepperoni pizza, spice it up with this. Nobody was just doing a plain slice of cheese pizza. So again, it's a little bizarre even for the internet, which not bizarre. It's not like, oh God, what's wrong with this person? Lock them up. But just different enough that I think it was worth shouting out. And then again, the peanut butter and butter for me is something that I've been called out on in my life, but it's not that weird. And clearly someone else is eating it as well. But yeah, like the Marmite, I'm kind of like you. I've not been brave enough to do the $5, $6 purchase of it and then have it sit in the cabinet for years and years and years. And again, I do know to go light on it. It's not like you're going to pick a spoonful up of it and just jam it in your mouth. You're not doing peanut butter. It's, you have.
I did that.
How was that experience?
Dude, it was the saltiest, puckeriest thing ever. Like, I didn't take the whole bite of it. I kind of just went like that, and there was still some on the spoon, but I was like, because I'd had enough at that point to know that I liked the taste of it. And so
you still don't like it that much, though.
It was very much stupid curiosity in that moment. Yeah, I'm not going to do that one again, but lesson learned.
Yeah, there you go. Well, again, I thought this was a great list. I think we could even spin off for a future episode because we've mentioned a few things that neither one of us have tried, but
Right.
would definitely be up for it. And we think that just flavor profile wise, what we've read, we will definitely dig those things. So maybe let's tuck that one in the back pocket for a future episode. But dude,
I'm up for that.
I know you got to get to bed. I got to get somewhere. I don't know, whatever. I guess my family cares
Over
where
there.
I am, but yeah, anyway, it's about that time. All right, I love you, man. Get a good night's sleep. And everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. And we're going to do this one again soon.
Yeah, maybe like next week or something.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Check my schedule. I'm kind of busy.
Right. Yeah, I got some things, some people, stuff, places,
whatnot.
I'm either seeing them or doing them. Wait.
All right. See ya.
See you, buddy.
Bye.